Imagine a year where pirates take some treasure off an island with fighting and deception. The pirates.
I'm a British naval officer. Why? Why piracy? I'll hit them with my stick. Oh, what year is that? I'm a British naval officer.
Wouldn't you use a cutlass and not a stick? The year is 1934.
That was too long, but I'm going to extend the intro because that's very funny. Hello and welcome to... Hello and welcome to Oldie But a Goodie. Oh my god, my name is Sandro. I'm traveling through time due to time travel mishaps and bloody hell, I woke up on a boat. This morning and I'm feeling a little bit seasick. It's a small boat. I believe they called them schooners back here in 1934. It's where I am. All I know is that the boat is called the Nellie Johnson. I'm so seasick. Oh, is there someone around here who could help me?
Oh, ahoy there, matey. You're still here.
What do you mean I'm still here? I don't know where I am.
Oh, why, you're on the Grand Schooner Nellie Johnson.
Grand Schooner? Bloody feel like I was on a couple Grand Schooners last night, considering my bloody stomach.
Oh, yes, you were. Well, that's partly me to blame.
What do you mean? Did you get me drunk and put me on your ship, sir? Blah.
No, you were here beforehand, you see. Dan Seavey, came aboard last night and offered many an alcohol to all the shipmates on this fine vessel of mine.
Wait a second, your name is Dan Seavey and you're on the sea?
My name is Dan Seavey. That's literally my name, and I am a famous sailor from around 1934.
You say famous sailor like you're trying to hide something. Are you a pirate, Dan?
What?
Are you Pirate Dan?
Of course not, unless it's cool, and then maybe I might be.
It's very cool. I'm not a British naval officer. I won't attack you.
Ah, fantastic. Well, that's good to know, because, yeah, I'm a really cool pirate.
You're a really cool pirate. That's so good.
I did a significant amount of poaching in my day.
Wait, poaching? Oh, no.
And, just sneaking in at night to abandoned vessels and, stealing cargo while everyone's asleep.
Is that what you did? Is that what you did last night here on the Nellie Johnson?
No, I definitely owned the ship and didn't, at one point, hop aboard a ship with crates of alcohol, got everyone on board drunk, and then threw everybody off the board to steal a ship.
Oh no, you're gonna throw me off board, Pirate Dan. Are you gonna throw me into the water?
Well, it's a bit late now, so I guess you're part of the crew.
Whoa, I'm a
but if anybody asks, and I will claim this for the rest of my life, I won this ship in a poker game. Okay. That's legitimately what I claim.
Yeah, sure. Wait, what happened to the orphan? Is there like a young kid running around here somewhere?
Oh, yes, the cabin boy. Cabin boy, over here.
What's going on? Does anybody have any money for bread?
Anyway, yes. I also liked to put fake lights on the docks so that ships would crash and they would be easy targets.
Oh my god, you're a fucking mad lad. You're wild.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. Don't say that. Because it gets way worse, because I also helped human trafficking.
Oh, okay, you're a bad person, actually, then. All right,
yeah.
Cool. I thought you were just like a prankster, a bit of a larrikin, but you're actually a bad person.
He had some larrikin moments, but also kind of just a bad person.
I don't know how we're meant to record a podcast. I guess Zach's gonna come into the body of Pirate Dan here, but, we're on the sea. Can we, park?
What do you mean,
Is there,
park?
An island somewhere here where we can stop the boat?
How do you propose I park?
I'm hungover. I don't know anything.
That's true. Canonically, you are wasted because of me trying to take over this. Won the ship in a legitimate poker game, and I.
Oh my god! There's crabs coming out. It's like Davy Jones, but grosser.
Oh my god! There's crabs everywhere. Oh my god! We're on a ship.
We're on a boat. The audio quality is going to be terrible for this one.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Don't worry, I have this magic sea noise cancelling device.
Oh, do you? That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Just power that one up. There we go.
Because of all this advanced technology, because I was able to go into the future, and grab all this advanced technology. Well, I have a time travel device.
How's the future? How far into the future did you go? Far enough to watch the Super Mario Brothers 2?
Yeah. I can't believe they replaced Chris Pratt with an actual voice actor.
Oh no, but with Justin Roiland. Oh no, he's worse.
Oh no!
Oh, no.
The worst timeline. Anyway, you better sober up, shipmate, because we've got a podcast to record.
It's okay. Let me just get a drink of rum.
What?
The hair of the dog. Glug, 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 glug.
How would that help with a hangover? That's... Oh, I guess you do drink alcohol to get rid of a hangover. Yeah, that's fine.
I'm gonna eat this chicken. Yum, 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 yum. I'm good now. I'm not hungover anymore. Let's do a podcast.
Hello and welcome to Oldie But a Goodie.
Oh, wait, just 1 second. I've got to smash this plate because I've got the sound effect now.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Wow, you're getting good use out of that sound effect. Absolutely.
I used it in Time Lord, actually. It was pretty funny.
Yeah. Oh, no, you what do you mean plate? You mean your schooner of rum that you just drank.
Oh, that too. I'm going to smash that as well. Here we go.
Yeah, smash that as well.
There we go.
There we go. Nice.
This is going to be terrible editing considering that it's the last week in Comedy Festival, but whatever. Treasure Island. Zach, you're a big ol' simp for Robert Louis Stevenson's classic book.
Yar! I simp for Treasure Island. That be true.
You love Treasure Island, so it makes sense that you would choose this one. So for first impression, what'd you think?
When I was a wee laddie boy running around causing mischief, one of my favourite pastime storybooks to listen to / read / watch on television was The Treasure Island.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
It'd be one of my favourite little books of all time.
It's not that
and
little.
It inspired, of course, lots of pirate stories, forward,
Yes.
Like the Black Spot, that wasn't a thing in real piracy. He made that up and is now like a big thing in like pirate stories. The pirate voice, I believe, from this movie. Was it this movie or was it earlier pirate things?
This is the first Treasure Island movie in sound, so it could have come from this, but I think there were stage versions earlier that maybe had it.
That's true.
The yo-ho-ho and a bottle of rum thing comes from this as well, though.
Oh, absolutely. And it inspired a lot, and it's a great story, and I really loved it.
Yep.
This version of it,
yes,
not bad.
It's fine.
I liked it. Yeah, this is pretty good. It took a little bit to get going, but once it got going, I was like, hell yeah, this is Treasure Island. A lot of the actors were quite good. Especially my favorite actor and favorite character, Long John Silver.
Who we saw, he was Professor Challenger in The Lost World, who I think we recast as Jack Black in the remake that we made up.
Yeah.
And then, he's in this as well as Long John Silver, and he's fantastic.
And, which is good because he's, like, the most important character in the books and the movie, I would say. With, of course, our little cabin boy, little Jim Hawkins.
No, I think that this is a good version. I mean, we're both big fans of Treasure Planet. We did it on Patreon last year. That's one of, if not the version of Treasure Island that I think I watched the most. It was that and Muppet's Treasure Island. I watched those two a lot.
Oh, really?
Muppet's Treasure Island is okay. They shouldn't have made the kid a human. That kid should have been a Muppet. I think Jim Hawkins should have been a Muppet in Muppet's Treasure Island because it just kind of loses a little bit of something. But that's a pretty good one. And the Disney version from 1950 I think, is the classic Treasure Island movie. That's the one that I used to watch, so I have not seen this one before. Which we probably won't do on the podcast because we've done this one and we don't want to do 2 Treasure Island movies in a year, but that one's really, really good.
Do you know what I watched the most?
Is it the Russian one that you've been trying to tell me about?
The 1988 Treasure Island, which recently got memed.
It got memed?
In like a TikTok. Yeah, well, not recently, but like last year. It's that dun 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 thing where like 3 people are walking.
Okay.
Anyway, that movie is awesome. That's a great movie. And the English translation, it's really good. I will absolutely make you watch this film at some point.
I think it's on our Patreon list.
This movie, I insist we do a watch party.
Okay.
But it is a fantastic movie, and I watched this maybe 3-4 times. It's really good.
There's so many good versions of Treasure Island. I saw a stage version with Arthur Darvill, I think, who is Rory in Doctor Who. He played Long John Silver, and it was a very odd version of the character. But I saw that one, and I was like, this is another cool version of this story.
Yeah.
There's so many versions.
There's loads of versions of this story, and it's really cool watching them, because it's like people's play on the story.
Yeah.
And like different interpretations, but because it's like just a good, like, the bones, the structure of the story is so good.
Yes.
That it can hold up all these different buildings. It's like you've got the scaffolding of this building, and people just like put over whatever they want on top of it, and it's kind of great.
And it usually always works. It's not like a Dracula where there's like so many versions of it, but they're all trying to have their little funny twist, and all like most of them are terrible.
Yeah.
Like with Treasure Island, they're all pretty good.
Yeah, because that's the thing, right? Like the Treasure Island follows a very distinctive plot, and there's like very distinctive places. And in that, the rest of the story is kind of flexible.
Yeah.
You have boy at inn meets pirate.
Yes.
Boy at inn gets treasure map. Boy at inn follows treasure map with people.
Yep.
Boy at inn has to fight pirates that was secretly there the entire time.
Yep.
Boy gets treasure. Long John Silver has a very emotional leaving scene.
Yes. That sometimes is like, I like this guy. Sometimes you're like, no, he's still a bit of a dickhead at the end of the movie.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah.
Like, because in Treasure Planet...
Oh, complete redemption.
Yeah, he is just a boy. He's just my lad. He's just a guy. He is your bro. He is great.
He's great.
Whereas in this one, he's still left a bit ambiguous.
Yeah.
I still think you could lean on the side that he is a good person, quotation marks.
I don't know.
He's like a scoundrel, you know? He leans on the side of like, you know, he could be going straight and narrow now, though.
He could be, but he's still like manipulating people. I absolutely love the performance of Long John in this version that we're talking about, because there's so much more. It's not as black and white as most versions of Treasure Island are, which is funny because this one is in black and white, but the performance is gray area. Whoa.
Yes.
Pretty good.
And so it's sort of up to the audience whether you're like, go with the side of the authorities and you should say Long John Silver should have been locked up for his crimes, or you're more of the outlaw and you're like, yeah, he gets free and, you know, everyone's happy, that sort of thing.
Yeah. We'll get into some more. I mean, it's kind of obvious because everyone knows the story of Treasure Island probably because you did it in school, but we'll get into some spoilers in a bit. But another thing I wanted to bring up is this film. I don't know if you noticed, but there were moments in this movie where I was like, this film feels like The Wizard of Oz. And do you know why? It's directed by Victor Fleming, who directed The Wizard of Oz and also Gone with the Wind, but that's overrated. He did The Wizard of Oz.
Gone with the Wind is great and you're dumb.
Do you? I don't think you've ever watched it.
I think I saw snippets of it when I was a child.
Yeah.
I think it was on TV when I was a child.
It was always on TV when we were children.
Yeah.
It was always on.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I've watched this film. Do I remember it? No.
I don't enjoy it. Not a good movie. But no, the guy that did the Wizard of Oz, he did this a few years before he made Wizard of Oz, which is wild.
There you go. Yeah, and it shows, because you got some great background scenes.
Mm.
You know, you got that asbestos raining from the sky.
Yeah.
You've got that child endangerment.
Yeah, he really just had that kid drunk constantly so that the kid would lose weight to look like a young kid from whenever this movie was set. Yeah, he really just...
Did he actually do that?
He did that to the lead in Wizard of Oz.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
They got her addicted to literally everything so she could do the movie. Fuck, we'll have to do the Wizard of Oz, but not actually talk about the movie, just talk about all the behind-the-scenes shit, because fucking hell, that film.
Yeah, that film... famously fucked up.
But the kid who plays Jim Hawkins, Zach, that's Jackie Cooper. You might know Jackie Cooper because he is Perry White in the Superman movies, in the original Superman movies. He was that, yes. He's fine.
Yeah. He's good.
He's pretty good.
It suffers again from that time where they just kind of got kid actors, and like nowadays child actors can act. This one wasn't too bad.
The thing with kid actors from especially the 30s and 40s is they all did a thing with their mouths.
Yeah.
Where they were like, but I don't want to go. Like, they really enunciate every word, and their faces don't look natural because they're trying to act.
Yeah. And they're doing like a kid voice.
Yeah.
Because that's what kids in films did. I'm a kid, and I've got the kid voice, and I'm gonna do this thing. And it's annoying. I'll throw it out there. It's annoying.
I think it's fine in musicals. Like, a lot of the time, if that's in a musical, I'm like, that's fine. But in something like this, I don't know. But I did feel like he was friends with Silver. Like, in their scenes together, I thought that they were really good. When the kid's just kind of by himself, not so much. Although I did like a lot of the antics he gets up to at the start of the movie with, like, the cake and shit, which we'll get to in spoilers. But yeah.
I mean, it's fine. It works. He's cool.
He's cool.
And it makes more sense that he's easily manipulated. But yeah, it's a good film. It's a good time. I really loved it. I love the pirates. They're very piratey. They speak in their pirate voice. I love the scenery. Yep. The props and everything. Well done.
The ship was really nice. The island looked really good. Oh, I liked the captain too. I don't know if you you noticed, but Long John Silver, he was Challenger in The Lost World, the guy who got everyone together to go do the thing. Guy that played the captain, he was the Hunter Man in The Lost World. He was the Hunter guy. We had a little bit of a Lost World reunion, a movie that you liked and I thought was boring. We had a little reunion for it.
Yeah, well, it kind of makes sense because it is a little bit of a Lost World situation. They go into an island, you know? There's just no dinosaurs. Oh my god, Treasure Island x Lost World would be fantastic. Where it's just you combine both those stories. Because they have like a similar arc, right?
Yeah.
Whether you get a group of people to sail over to a lost island to find something valuable.
Yeah.
You could absolutely mesh those stories together.
You could, and have, like, the mutiny of the pirates, but then they've also then got to deal with dinosaurs.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Not only do they have to fight each other, but they have to fight the island. Is it like actual dinosaurs, or is it like Kong Skull Island made up sort of dinosaurs? I think a bit of both.
A bit of both?
I want a bit of both. I want to keep my options open because I would like to have a giant 12-foot gorilla show up and be an integral plot point, you know?
Yep.
He becomes part of the crew.
Arrr, indeed.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's anyone else that I wanted to mention. Oh, the guy that plays Ben Gunn is fantastic and exactly what I always picture the character of Ben Gunn to be like.
Oh my god, yeah, Ben Gunn. That was the most surprising, was like, oh wait, that is just Ben Gunn.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen a version where they haven't gotten Ben Gunn right. Like, he's the character that you always have, like, every version gets it right. Every version gets him right. I don't know. It's great.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, and this movie's very violent for a film that's rated G. There's a scene where a guy gets trampled by a horse and carriage, and you just see him get trampled.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal. And I mean, that scenes, I will mention, sometimes it feels like it doesn't do, like, time well. because the book, it takes over several years, right?
Yeah.
And especially the first bit is there's a few time jumps. And in the movie, it's a bit hard to tell that. It feels like it's a bit rushed.
Yeah,
but that's
for sure.
my only real criticism of the film.
Yeah.
Is just that sort of thing. You don't really get that time difference of, like, how long the pirate's been there sort of thing.
That's a good point, yeah.
But, you know, it still works. It still works. It's a minor complaint.
I also think the movie's too long as well. Like, it
Oh, really?
feels rushed, but it's also like that opening sequence takes forever in the bar. That just went on forever, whereas I'm used to it just being
that
like...
bar scene was a little long.
Yeah.
I'll agree to that.
I think because I'm just used to the Treasure Planet version, where it's just one guy comes in and is like, where the sidewalk, man? I'm dead.
Yeah. Literally, yeah. Okay, that's unfair, because that scene, especially in the books, is way longer. Because he comes in, and he's there for, like, a year or two hiding out. And there's this whole thing of, like, Jim slowly learning what this pirate's about, and then becoming sort of friends.
Yeah.
Like, he's friendly to him, and he sort of learns about what that pirate guy's about. And then, over time, over those years, like, several other figures, like Black Dog, who was barely in this movie, and, like, the blind guy come over and, like, scout him out, like, a few times before they eventually come in a, like, black spot. And then, like, I think it's a week later or something, then the pirates come in and raid the place, you know. It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
It is minor complaint, because none of that really matters too much for the story. It's just one of those things that's in the book, and I quite like it.
Yeah, okay. I thought it just went on for a little too long, but that's...
Yeah. But yeah, non-essential, which is why in Treasure Planet they're like, here's the guy, hey, he dies. Done. All right.
I think that's why I like Treasure Planet so much, is it's just like, just cut all the stuff that doesn't really need to be here. No, I think that this is a really good version of Treasure Island. Probably the most faithful out of all the versions I've seen as well.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend it, and I'm going to give it a bloody goodie. It gets a goodie from me, dog.
Yar, I be giving it a goodie as well.
Is that Yuzak, or is it Pirate Dan? Who's...
I refuse to elaborate.
Okay. And if you were to be like, this is the version of Treasure Island that you should watch, to anyone who hasn't seen a version, before we get into spoilers, which one would you say our listeners should check out? Which version of the many, many Treasure Islands that you've seen is the one that people should watch?
I would say the 1988 Treasure Island from the USSR, the English translation. But I would recommend either reading the book or listening to it on this week's sponsor, Audible.
We're not sponsored by Audible. No, we're not.
I wish. But, like, listening to an audiobook version of it, that's how I probably listened to the story the most, was on audiobook. Absorbed this story the most.
Wow. I'd say watch the Disney one from 1950, but I haven't seen it since I was 12, so it might not be good. I don't know. It's on Disney Plus, though. But probably read the book as well. That's probably a good idea. Unless it's, like, racist, in which case maybe don't read it. But I don't think it is, because no one's talked about it being racist, so I think we're fine.
Yet.
Well, hey there, it's me, Silly McSiller, and I've been practicing my Australian accent. G'day, mate. Put some shrimp on the barbie, aye. I'll love Hamish and Andy. Yeehaw! Well, I've got a bunch of great stuff to sell for you today, and by great stuff, I mean one thing. Bonus episodes on Patreon by Sandro and Zach. There's a new episode on Deuce Bigelow 2. Here's a clip for your earholes.
We are... actually... We're not sorry. You chose this, so...
Yeah. F*** you for choosing Deuce Bigelow. Even though I voted for Deuce Bigelow because I wanted to see Sandro suffer. Now I'm suffering and it's not funny anymore.
That's right. The joke is over. The joke never started, actually. The joke never began.
Well, doesn't that sound bloody brilliant for you? Put it in your face and stuff. Yeah, oldie but a goodie. Wait, what is the URL? Patreon.com/oldie but a goodie pod. Get that bonus content, ad-free episodes up there too. This is wild. I'm an Australian. Yeehaw! I'm gonna drink a Furfies.
Alright, let's get into spoilers, plot details, stuff and things. Jim Hawkins made a cake. No, he didn't. Only girls make cakes.
What?
That's the first line I wrote down.
Yeah, that's definitely a bit of a weird opening. Obviously, it has, like, the mother's birthday, right?
Yeah.
So they had this random cake scene, which not exactly faithful to the books. I was like, what the fuck is going on with the, like, little girl being annoying? And they had this fight. It was a weird opening.
It was a strange opening, but I think it introduced Jim Hawkins well, because he's too young to really be good at any of this adulting stuff.
Yeah.
But he's also grown up enough to want to do it. And I think that's a good version of the character, because, you know...
Yeah. Like, he's super young and naive, but he did bake a cake.
Yeah.
Like,
he's driven. He's driven.
Yeah,
he just doesn't have the tools to do it well.
Yeah, he gives his mum a cake, and she's like, oh, what a great cake. Boy, my birthday's going so well. I sure hope a weird, homeless pirate man that's constantly drunk all the time doesn't burst through the door and interrupt my birthday.
I'm Billy Bones.
Oh, shit.
Yar, I'm Billy Bones. That's me. Yeehaw. I'm a cowboy.
Yeah, it was weird that this movie made him a cowboy instead of a pirate. That was a really weird
Treasure
decision.
Island, but cowboys.
Yeah.
Pretty fun.
You could do it, absolutely. And you just got, like, prospecting. It's like, you know, you could absolutely do this in the Wild West with, like, Texan Rangers and, like, bandits. Yeah, and it's, like, hidden in a remote location or something.
Yeah. There's probably, like a cave or...
How do you get that whole, like, stranded thing, right?
Yeah, that's the problem. Unless it's like, I don't know, it's in the middle of like bear country. Or it's on a mountain. Maybe it's on a mountain.
It could be on a mountain. That would sort of work.
Treasure Mountain?
Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out, because the whole idea is there's the fight over the ship, right? Which is their only way in or out of leaving.
Yeah.
So they're sort of stuck. They could be
There's
stuck
a canyon.
in a mine.
There's a canyon, and they've got to try and fight their way through the canyon, and there's cowboys and stuff all over the canyon.
Yeah. It could just be a very remote location, and it's more about supply management, because without supplies, they're all going to die.
Yeah. I think that would actually be pretty fun. I think that would be a good movie.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway, Billy Bones says treasure. Treasure, I've got a map. Treasure, I'm Billy Bones. I'm gonna fight people. I'm fighting people. I got a sword. I'm fighting. Oh no, I've been handed a black spot. Oh no, I dead. Blah.
Wow. You just did a Treasure Planet on this movie and just fucking skipped all those scenes. But yeah, he gets handed a black spot by a very intimidating blind man, and I'm glad they had the blind man.
That was Pew. Yeah, this version of Pew was so good. Oh my goodness. They get the treasure map to Flint's treasure, and they set off on the ship.
Yeah, they it follows the classic story where Mr. Blabbymouth, the rich man who buys the ship, he accidentally blabs about the map. And the treasure and stuff. And of course, all these it's funny in this movie, they do it really subtly, which I loved, which is like, I recruited all these sailors to come with me, but all of them are late and haven't arrived. Those lazy bastards, you know?
Yeah.
And then Long John Silver's like, oh, so you'll be needing a crew then. I'll get you one instead. How's that sound? And he's like, oh, that's great. Because obviously, subtly, off screen, they've murdered all those other crew members that he hired so that they wouldn't come. Yeah. And I picked that up. I'm like, whoa, I don't remember that in the book and all of that sort of thing. Obviously, that happened. But,
no, I really like that. That's a good bit of detail.
They did it really well because it was really subtle, this sort of story point where he's like, oh, I hired all this crew, but none of them showed.
They're all dead. They've all been murderized. Oh, I hated that I said that. Although, like, I was, like, with this version in particular, because Jim Hawkins then goes with Long John to the pirate bar and all of that, I was very, like, it's interesting just how much work they put into this con. They put a lot of work into this con, and it makes sense in the book because it takes place over, like, a few years, right? Whereas in the movie, it's like, I don't know, a month.
Yeah, okay. But my argument is they So Long John comes over with Jim Hawkins.
Yeah.
And he gets him to whistle. I think that is the signal for them to look like normal people instead of pirates.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure.
And that's not just for Jim Hawkins, but it's for whenever, like, maybe naval officers come by, right?
Yeah.
Inspecting the taverns looking for pirates, all right? They have that sort of signal to look normal sort of thing. And then when the captain comes in and it's like, this is Jim Hawkins, he's for this ship, they all, like, get the idea, oh, we need to sucker up to this kid so that we can get on the ship. So there's a bit of deception there, but, like, yeah, I think it makes sense. I think it works.
Yeah, no. I think it's good. It is just like, they're putting in a lot of work. They're doing a lot of work.
I mean, yes, they definitely are putting a lot of work, but it makes sense because they literally are going to be wealthy beyond measure, so...
I liked everything, all the various crew members were introduced to. They're all pretty fun. I think there's one, is it Hands? In Treasure Planet, he's the one with like all the hands and stuff. He climbs the masts and kills people and all that. I quite liked him in this movie. He was played quite well as like the mean one. He's like the mean pirate.
Yeah. There was a good scene. There's this one, he's like a bard sort of character.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't remember his name, but a long time goes, oh, this is so-and-so. He's harmless. He wouldn't hurt a fly. He's a gentleman of sorts. And the guy goes, oh, how do you do, young Jim Hawkins? And he, like, tips his hat. And for us, our perspective, we can see underneath his hat, there's a blade hidden in the hat.
That was a really good
Jim
shot.
Hawkins, from his angle, couldn't see it.
Yeah.
Which is, it was a very good piece of cinema. That's very good, visual storytelling there, and it's quite funny. I was not expecting this movie to be so subtle and nuanced.
Yeah. No, this movie goes pretty hard on all that. And I think that's why, at the end of the movie, I was still sus on Silver. Because I'm like, you're still just lying to this poor kid. Like, this kid's been emotionally manipulated the entire movie by literally everyone.
Oh, absolutely. But that's the thing, right? But he does give his parrot over at the end.
He does.
And that's the bit that leads me in the line of skipping to the end here a little bit, but like that whole thing of it's left to the audience to decide whether or not he is a good man or not. Whereas in Treasure Planet, it's quite obviously, he's a bamf. He's my boy. He's a great guy. But like in this, it's like, was it all lies? Was some of it true?
Yeah, who knows? But yeah, I think potentially there could have been, and maybe should have been, more time with the two of them before Jim hides in a barrel of potatoes and finds out what's going on.
Yeah,
because that happens like halfway through the movie, which is fine, because this movie is then, because like most other versions are mostly set on the ship, and then the stuff on the island is like 20 minutes at the end. This one, it's like 40 minutes on the island. It's like, it's a long time on that island, so
yeah.
It makes sense that it would happen earlier, but I don't know. I was just like, maybe a little bit more of the two of them. I don't know.
I think they had a good amount, because they had like one or two scenes where, like, especially that, like, spitting into the wind scene,
That was a good one, yeah.
I think that was a good, like, that was their bonding moment. And yeah, obviously in the books there's a few more of those, but, like, I think they showed on screen that they were bonding, and then the movie kind of moved on. You are probably right.
Mm-hmm. I know. I'm always right. It's my podcast. No, it's our podcast.
Nope.
It's kind of like a 50-50 of who's right at all times.
Remember whose ship you're sailing on, laddie.
Oh, I forgot. We're on a boat.
Yeah, you're on a boat this entire time. And what will happen to your plates if you act up like this one?
Oh, no. It sounded like all the other plates that I broke.
So, yeah. They reach the island.
Yes.
And Jim Hawkins, through pure happenstance, happens to be in a barrel at the time where the pirates are making their plans to take over.
So he overhears and he tells the captain, and the captain's like, oh, the fuck? I knew it all along.
In Treasure Planet, they have that whole, the crew gets a bit rowdy after a while at sea, they want to take over earlier.
Yeah.
In this one, they don't really have that. It's just like a black and white, oh, they're pirates now. There is a few characters where it's like, oh, this sailor didn't join the pirates, that sort of thing.
Yes, there's a few of that, which is really good. Yeah.
They escape to the island.
Yep. Jim's with them, runs off, meets Ben Gunn, all that sort of stuff. There's the mutiny on the ship at the same time as well, so the captain and all of the good men get on a little dinghy and head over to the island while the pirates are, like, trying to cannonball them. That was great. All the action in this movie, because it's kind of pre-code, like pre-classification, really, the violence in this is way too violent for a kid's movie, and is fantastic. So all the fighting was wonderful.
Yeah. They kind of skipped over this, but Jim Hawkins finds, like, a cabin, and then he comes back, well, at least in the books, he comes back and relays that information to them, and then they make a plan to go to it. In this, they kind of just go to the cabin. But when they get to the cabin, the captain hoists the English colours.
Oh, yeah. That was silly.
And in the books, the pirates can't see the cabin from the boat, but they can see the flag.
Yeah.
So they shoot at the flag. And the captain refuses to lower the flag.
Yep.
And they had that as a 2-minute scene. I was like, yeah, that's great.
And then the pirate flag's also raised, which is pretty fun.
Yeah, they raised the Jolly Roger.
Jolly Roger, it's a classic one. And yeah, there's a bunch of fighting. I quite liked that where they've got to, the cabin's under siege, so they've got to try and shoot away all the pirates, and then the captain gets shot, and it's pretty graphic again.
Yeah. It was a really good action scene. It was really well done, especially because they have a bit of shootout, and then they pull out swords for a bit of sword fighting.
Yep.
And the sword fighting was quite well choreographed with the captain and the, like, pirates.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
That was good. I liked the scene where Jim cuts the ship loose. He goes back to the ship, he cuts it loose.
Yeah.
He has a fight with Hands, which is like, there's a part where Hands throws a dagger.
Yeah.
And it's just above the actor's, like, shoulder, and I'm like, oh my god, they almost stabbed that kid.
Yeah. No. I thought the special effects for that were really good. Because it has him on the rigging and, like, throwing the knife, and then it cuts to Jim Hawkins, and, like, the knife embeds itself next to his shoulder. Very well done.
It was well done, but also I'm sure that, like, that is dangerous.
But fun fact, magnets exist, Sandro.
Oh, you're thinking they use magnets?
I know how they do those scenes.
Yeah, but it's also the 30s, and it's the same guy that made Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, they probably just threw knives at a child. Fuck them,
I think they probably threw knives at a kid. Knowing what this director later did with Judy Garland, I think they probably threw knives at a kid.
That is true. We do have some context. Yeah, it's a really cool scene where Jim takes over the ship and manages to steer it round to the other side of the island. But then he comes back to the cabin and he's like, hey, boys, I'm back. What's happening? And oh no, it's the pirates. They've taken over the cabin. And it wasn't super clear in this movie because in the books, they make a deal with Long John to give them the cabin and the map and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, they don't really... That's kind of brushed over in this movie.
Yeah, it's a little brushed over and a little confusing as to how it happened. But essentially, the pirates have the cabin, and now they have Jim. And so Dr. Livesey comes over and is like, Jim, they've got you. What's happening? And it's sort of revealed that Dr. Livesey made their escape with all the people and that thing.
Yeah. No, I quite liked a lot of the quotes that we get from Jim in this part, because he's like, oh, I guess I'm hanging out with Long John Silver now. Because I think, like, the pirates attack him when he goes back to the cabin, right? And then, like, Silver's like, no, don't hurt the kid. The kid's fine. Don't hurt him. He's fine.
And you see, that's another thing, right? Because you have him being a bad person, but then he just saves this kid. And he really didn't have much of a reason to do that.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
Although I quite like Jim's like, well, geez, thanks for not letting me get killed, Long John. I'm gonna go find my friends now. Goodbye. And Silver's like, No, you're technically my hostage now, so just stay here, actually.
But yeah, then again, maybe Long John's like, maybe I can use this as a chip of bargaining. There's this constant back and forth with Long John, whether you just don't know if he's a good guy or not.
Don't know. And it gets to the point where he betrays all the pirates as well. Like at the very end with the treasure. He does betray all the pirates. And you're like, okay, well, maybe he doesn't like these pirates, actually. Maybe he is turning, I don't know. Or maybe he just was like, it's going to be more profitable for me to betray the pirates. You don't know.
Yeah. In the books, I know why. Because what happens is Dr. Trelawney is like, hey, go dig up the treasure. It's not there. We know where it is. You're kind of boned. And Long John, makes the calculations. He's like, all right, we don't have access to the treasure because we don't know where it is. And we don't have, enough crew to go back. Anyway, he does the math and is like, okay, I'm going to betray all my pirate brethren so that I have a chance of getting out of here, sort of thing. In here, he does sort of a similar thing, and it's pretty good, where he betrays them all, he gets them all murdered, but also, is that really a good act?
I mean, they're pretty bad pirate boys. I don't know.
Yeah, they're bad pirate boys, but he's also betraying them and getting them killed, which is probably a bad act. Do you think that maybe even if things had gone perfectly for him, he wouldn't have just then turned around and killed them all anyway?
Exactly. I mean, he probably would have. Depending on which prequel you think is canon. And there are plenty of them, and we'll get to them.
Very good.
Yeah, no, he's quite a mean guy, but also maybe not, but also maybe doing it to be good. Who knows? Who knows?
This movie's, he's just good in this movie. And yeah, so Ben Gunn gets his cheese, and which is a very important plot point.
Yes.
And probably the most relatable character I've ever related to.
Oh, we got a line. I forget who says it. It might be the captain. He's like, oh my goodness, am I off course and sitting on a water sprout? It's just a random line I wrote down. Someone says it at some point.
That's a good one.
I don't know what it means, but I'm bringing it back.
Absolutely.
I'm bringing that one back.
Am I sitting on a water sprout?
Am I off course and sitting on a water sprout? I assume it's like, you got water up your bum, so you're feeling a bit weird.
Yeah, I mean, you would.
Yeah.
They didn't have bidets back then, so they wouldn't know what that is. You could use that line whenever you use a bidet now. That's your bidet line.
That's my bidet line. They get the treasure. Long John is going to be hung to death for his crimes.
Yeah.
And Jim's like, well, then I'm going to free you. And Long John's like, cool, I'm going to quit piracy. But oops, I stole this coin. Oops, he fell out of my pocket.
Yeah, that whole scene is like, it toes back and forth. Is he a good person? Is he a bad person? Is he a good person? There's a lot of deception behind the back of Jim Hawkins, which is quite funny. And yeah, and then he gives the parrot, and then he's like, oh, you know what? I'm going on the straight and narrow. Mm-hmm. And, I kind of believe him.
I don't know. This version of Long John, I don't know. Other versions for sure. This version, he's a bit sus. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
This version, he's a bit, I don't know.
But what else is he gonna do? Like, he's getting older. He's got one leg. Not that ever stopped him before, to be honest. He is very dangerous.
He's a dangerous boy.
But like, what is he gonna do? Go rob more people? Go betray more people? Like, he's already got the gold, right? He could just live out his days with that gold. Kind of achieved his goal, right? I think he retires.
I think he probably, he retires. He maybe does some small, he hires people to do jobs for him on the side. I think that's kind of what he's doing. I don't think he's gone completely straight and narrow, but he's definitely going to put up a facade. He's definitely going to have a front.
Yeah.
He's going to have a front for something.
Yeah.
On one of these islands that he goes to.
Yeah, I think what happens is he goes pretty straight and narrow, but he's one of those characters where it's like, oh yeah, it's good old Long John. He lives up this way. He's a really nice man. He always does these nice things. But also, like, there was that one time where someone tried to rob him and he broke their spine.
Yeah.
Like, he's that character who's really nice and innocent, but has that super dark past that they don't talk about.
And then at some point, someone's like, one last job, Long John, one last job. And he's like, all right. But then he sacrifices himself on that job.
Jim Hawkins like, I need you, Long John. I need your skills. No one else I knew. Back in my youth, I trusted you, and that got us far. We need you again on this job to take this treasure off an island.
That's right. Yep.
And that's the end of the movie.
There is a sequel to the 1950s version.
Oh.
With Long John. I can't remember if it's him going... I think it is actually, like he's broke and he's like, one last job or something. I think that is what happened.
Oh, right, really? Wow.
I have not seen it. I don't think it's on Disney Plus, but there is a sequel to that one. So I don't know, maybe he does. Who knows? Who really knows? But anyway, that is the movie. That's the film. It's a good one.
But Sandro, I really haven't brought the book up enough, and I really think I should mention it one.
What are you going to bring up? Are you going to bring up the many, many, many sequels to the book that aren't canon?
No. Because they don't count in my heart. This is it. This is the end of the story, and they do not exist.
Yep.
But yeah.
But there's so many. There's Back to Treasure Island. There's The Adventures of Ben Gunn. There's Jim Hawkins and the Curse of Treasure Island. There's a French one about Long John Silver. Ooh, what's he getting up to? What are the French making him do? Ooh.
Well, I know what the Russians made him do, and it made a good film adaptation.
That's the movie. It's good. Go watch it. It's a good fun time. I guess go watch it. I don't know. It's fine. There's some better versions, but it's pretty good.
That's definitely a goodie for me. I love the high seas, and it's an inspiration for my creativity whenever we're talking about some pirates.
Actually, no, my favorite Treasure Island is the 2013 TV show Black Sails, which is a prequel all about Captain Flint and Long John Silver as sexy boys. They're sexy boys and they're going to get the treasure and they're going to put it on an island. And now, Zach, just imagine, it's 2014.
Yep.
I'm like, midway through my teenage years, I think at that point. I see this new TV show Black Sails, prequel to Treasure Island, executive produced by Michael Bay. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm going to watch this.
Yeah.
And then I watch it and, it's the era of like Game of Thrones, like when Game of Thrones was basically just porn with dragons.
Yeah.
And so this show is just porn with pirates. And I'm like,
yeah,
where's the Treasure Island? Apparently it got better, but I'll never watch it. Anyway, that's a TV show.
Nice. Yeah, you had me up to you say Michael Bay was involved, and then you lost me completely. So, yeah. I was down for two sexy pirate boys, especially Long John. I'd like to see Long John, manipulating people, how he got to that stage. He's a bit of a silver tongue,
They maybe do that near the end of the show. I think the show ends with them getting the treasure and then putting it on the island.
No, I'm not saying in that show they did that. That sounds fucking awful. It sounds like a terrible show.
But you'd love it, though, because Tom Hopper plays Billy Bones.
Oh,
your boy Tom Hopper from Umbrella Academy is Billy Bones. He's Billy Bones. Maybe I will go back and watch this show. I'm sure it's terrible, because I remember it being absolutely awful.
God, I love Tom Hopper. Tom Hopper can get it. Oh, yeah, it does look like Game of Thrones, but pirates.
That's pretty much all it is.
Oh, it's pretty highly rated on Rotten Tomatoes.
Don't watch it, unless you want to. I don't know. It's not canon. It's my hot take. Black Sails is not canon.
Yeah, that's fair.
Hello, I'm Dane.
I'm Luke.
And this is What's New Barkeep. Have you ever wondered what was in a Long Island iced tea, a buttered toffee, or a cosmopolitan?
Or, better question, how does it taste?
In this podcast, we answer those questions you were afraid to ask your barkeep. We plunge headfirst into the recipes, discovering the ones that are good, bad, or never again. Along the way, we also talk about things you would talk to your friends about in the bar, whether it's video games, D&D, anime, movies, and TV.
Who knows, you might even catch us on trivia night.
Be sure to catch us every Friday at noon to plan for your happy hour.
So let us find out if the poison you picked is actually poison.
Be sure to drink responsibly.
And have a good one.
Well, let's come up with our own sequel. Or, no, not a sequel. We're not doing that this year. We're coming up with a remake. A remake of Treasure Island. We're going to recast some people.
I think we've already done that. We're remaking it as cowboys, right?
We're doing cowboys. We're doing Treasure Mountain or whatever.
Oh, Treasure Mountain. That's a good name.
Treasure Mountain.
That's spot on. No, because it makes sense, right? Because there's so many versions of Treasure Island already out there. We need to do something different. We can't just do Treasure Island again. There's lots of interpretation. There's cartoons. There's live action. There's all of this. We need to do something different. A bit like Treasure Planet, we can branch out, we can do something. And I like the idea of making it like part Western.
Yeah.
Because Western and pirates actually have a sort of similar vein and had a similar popularity at the time.
Yeah, because it was pirates during like the 30s and 40s and then Westerns during the 50s and 60s. Like that's kind of how it moved. I think yeah, a cowboy version of Treasure Island is a great idea. Here's my thing straight off the bat. Long John Silver's got to be Jack Black.
Yeah. I mean, we've used Jack Black before for the same actor.
But I think he's just perfect. I would like...
Yeah.
Although, I don't know, is this a kid-friendly version? Are we going for, like, the kid-friendly kind of vibe?
I think we go... Oh, I see what you're saying with, like, Treasure Planet versus this. Yeah, that's true.
Like, what do we want? Because if we want it to be kid-friendly, Jack Black, but if not, maybe Timothy Oliphant, because here's the
thing, right? I think Jack Black can do a more serious film. Like,
oh, no, 100% he can.
He could do this. I feel like he could do this. But I think we want to go a bit more nitty-gritty.
A bit more nitty-gritty?
I'm thinking M, but not R.
Of course it's not R, because it's not a pirate movie, Zach. You fool! This is a Cowboys. It's the M for the moose, not R for pirates. That was a stretch. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm gonna let that one sit there for a couple of seconds. Let everyone absorb that one in. But yeah, we could do that. I like Jack Black. I love Jack Black.
Then what is Flint? Is Flint a parrot? Like what? Is it a dog?
Oh, a dog. Absolutely. Yeah. A dog, of course. A dog. Oh, what else would they have? Yeah. Probably dog.
Probably a dog. Or the horse could be Flint.
Nah, that's lame. That's dumb. No one gives a shit about horses. Horses are a D tier animal at best.
Oof.
They're past their prime.
Oof. Oof. Fair.
Whereas dogs, A, S tier. Definitely S tier. I think a dog works quite well. But it's like a trained dog.
Jack Black is Long John. Who do you want to play Jim? How young are we going to go with Jim?
Tom Hopper.
That's too old. That's too old for Jim Hawkins.
Yeah, it's too old.
We could definitely put Tom Hopper in this, though. That'd be pretty good.
Or maybe a different Tom that plays young actors because they look so young.
No,
because they're
too young. Too young. I mean, too old.
What do you mean too young?
Too old. I don't think anyone believes Tom Holland at that young anymore.
Yeah, but like that's sort of the vibe I want to go for him. Like he's young but not too young. I don't want a child actor. Fuck that shit.
Ooh. What about the guy that plays Dustin in Stranger Things? He's like early 20s but could still pull off teenager vibes.
Yeah. I could see that. Yeah. He could absolutely do a good Jim Hawkins. Yeah, because he could lean into being a bit young, but also like he's getting a bit older now, and I think that's the perfect, like, we want to aim for, like, 17, 18, like, they're just becoming an adult sort of thing, and they want to make their mark on the world. They want to go out into the world and make their mark, and, Long John is like, hey, there's this bandit stash where they used to stash all this stuff in this abandoned mine shop up in the mountains in the middle of this desert, right?
Yeah.
We have Billy Bones, played by Tom Hopper, and...
All right, Billy Bones, Tom Hopper.
No. But that's not a main character. That's the problem. I think Dr. Livesey should be played by Tom Hopper.
Dr. Livesey can be Tom Hopper. I'm thinking for the captain, because I want the captain to be a character. I'm thinking either Timothy Oliphant or Anson Mount. Timothy Oliphant, he's great, but he does do a lot of westerns.
Yeah.
He's in a lot of westerns, but he looks like the sort of vibe. Anson Mount is the captain in Star Trek Strange New Worlds, and I think he's pretty spot on for the vibe that we want.
Oh, Anson Mount's pretty cool. Yeah. I like Anson Mount.
Yeah, I think he would be pretty good.
My vote is for Anson Mount, I think.
Okay.
I think he would be pretty cool. as the, like, head ranger.
Mm.
Who's part of, the Texas Rangers or whatever the fuck.
We've only cast boys so far. But the thing is, there are no women characters in Treasure Planet.
Yeah, that's the thing in Treasure Island. There are no women characters. There is the mum. We could have the mum, right?
I guess. Or we can change someone so that they're...
Oh, that's true.
Have your Ben Gunn be Kate McKinnon or something. Like, crazy!
Oh, yeah! the fucking... Yeah, but here's the thing, right? They were marooned?
Yeah, she's stuck in the mines. She's just stuck in the mines.
Yeah, but how did she survive?
Okay, she's become, who are the people who live on mountains and, herd goats and shit?
Oh, a hermit.
Yeah, she's become a hermit.
Ah, right.
Or we could gender swap Jim Hawkins.
That's true. Jim Hawkins would be a good gender swap, absolutely.
I'm just trying to think who would be perfect. I would probably go Sadie Sink. I think Sadie Sink from Stranger Things is good. We keep it in the Stranger Things world.
Yeah, you got to switch to the next. Yeah. I mean, that works.
And then Jack Black is Long John. Yeah, who do you want to direct though? Who's like a good adventure movie director?
Barry Sonnenfeld.
Barry Sonnenfeld, the director of all the Men in Black movies?
Yes. And more importantly, the best Wild West movie.
Oh,
the Wiki Wild West. The Wiki Wild West. Wait, did he direct Men in Black International?
No, he's just a producer on International.
Yeah, he's a producer. Yeah, that makes sense, because that movie was hot garbage. But also, A Series of Unfortunate Events, the TV series.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, that was the movie. That was the movie with Jim Carrey.
I feel like if he directs this, it's just gonna be a studio film. Like, he's a studio director, but also...
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who else could do it.
I mean, that was just my suggestion, because I was like, who directed the Wiki Wild West? Because I genuinely enjoyed the Wild West.
Maybe we put that on the Patreon list. That could be pretty funny.
But that's one of my guilty pleasures.
For sure. I don't think I've actually seen it properly.
Really?
We could go
Wow.
Robert Rodriguez. He does westerns. He knows how to make movies for kids, because he made Spy Kids. And he also makes pretty violent films too.
Yeah. Actually, that's a good idea, because I want a sort of blend of that, like, sort of adventure. And, like, Spy Kids 2 is pretty much Treasure Island, right?
Actually, you're right. Spy Kids 2 is just Treasure Island. It's kind of exactly what we were describing, with like a mixture between Lost World and Treasure Island.
Yeah, that is Spy Kids 2. So I think, actually, yes, I agree with you. Yeah, let's do that one, because that makes sense.
But it can be produced by Barry Sonnenfeld.
The thing is, okay, I just had one plot thing, right? Because the reason that the pirates come along as a crew of a ship, right?
Yeah.
So why are we recruiting people to go to this mystical mountain, right?
I don't know. Money.
Maybe they need miners. They need, like, people to dig into the mountain, right?
Well, they've already got Jim Hawkins, or Ginny Hawkins, I guess would be her name in this.
Yeah.
Ginny Hawkins. I mean, she's a minor, so...
I get it.
Comedy podcast.
No, but, like, maybe there was, like, a tunnel collapse, and that's why they couldn't get the hidden loot.
That's a good idea.
And so they need an excavation team to excavate the site.
I like this movie. I would 100% watch this. Just Jack Black as Long John Silver. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's our Treasure Mountain. The Mines of Treasure Mountain.
The Mines of Treasure Mountain. Ooh.
The Mines of Treasure Mountain.
That makes it sound like you're mining into it, though, which is not exactly the case.
Yeah, good point,
I like just Treasure Mountain.
Treasure Mountain, yeah. That'd be a good movie that they would 100% not make, but I do want to watch it.
Oh, absolutely. That's good.
All right, and that's the episode. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. Fun one. And yeah, if you like the show, we really appreciate everyone who reviews us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Whoa.
Shout out to everybody. It's free to do. You just do it in an app, and it helps get the show out in front of more people. Also, just telling friends is also a good way to help us out. If you want to do that, we appreciate everyone who relentlessly tells their friends to listen to the podcast. We are on Facebook at Oldie Buddy Goody Pod. We are on bloody Instagram as well. If you want to see the photos of the recasts that I make, we are on patreon.com/Oldie Buddy Goody Pod, and I think is it out? It's out. Our review of Deuce Bigelow, European Gigolo.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Why did we do both of these films? Oh god.
I don't know. We really just did a whole month of Rob Schneider, and it was a mistake. But it's out, so I guess.
I disagree. It was a deliberate pain upon Sandro's psyche.
It made me go crazy.
Absolutely.
Really, really did. People are like, why aren't you seeing shows in Comedy Festival this year? Is it because you're busy? No, it's because comedy's been ruined for me because I had to watch Rob Schneider.
Yeah, comedy is dead and Rob Schneider killed it.
Exactly. But we do get to do Friday the 13th, the Final Nightmare, later in the month as well, so that's pretty fun. Not the Final Nightmare, that's the name of the Final Nightmare on Elm Street movie. Anyway, I've got to pick next week's movie.
Yes, before I teleport out of this sea man, we gotta pick a next movie for next week. I'm not sure how did you manage to watch this movie while being on a boat?
No, I think I was on land for a while.
Yeah, that's true. We don't actually know what happened because you got blackout drunk and can't remember. That's very convenient.
If only we had a flashback.
No, we're not putting flashbacks.
All right. 1935 is what we're going to next year, and we've got Alfred Hitchcock's The 39 Steps. Ooh.
I do love a bit of cock.
Yep. I know. I am aware.
Captain Blood, which would be a bit of a pirate line to continue on.
Oh, yes. Actually, that looks fun. But what about A Night at the Opera, which is the popular Marx Brothers movie?
Oh, yes. A Midnight Summer's Dream.
Oh, I like that. The Bride of Frankenstein, Frankenstein 2,
Oh,
Frankenstein
Bride of
2.
Frankenstein, yeah.
The Mutiny on the Bounty, which is about something that happened close to Australia, a boat that there was a mutiny on.
But what about Vampire, Sandro? Mark of the Vampire.
Oh, Mark of the Vampires? Oh my god.
Yeah, we got a bit more Dracula coming in.
Oh, The Raven, Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven.
Oh, yeah, the Raven. Yeah.
I'm still not over Captain Blood. What a name.
Yeah. Oh, actually, you like that one? Usually we don't mention the movie we're going to do till the end, where
True.
we actually pick this one.
A young Irish doctor is exiled as a slave to Jamaica, where he captures a Spanish galleon and becomes the most feared pirate of the Caribbean.
That sounds pretty cool.
It's Errol Flynn. He's a popular actor. You know what? Fuck it. More pirates. Let's do Captain Blood next week.
Yeah. We're going to do Pirate. Ooh, and then we can compare it to this week's Pirate, which is just Treasure Island, so it's pretty good.
This looks like a lot of fun, actually. Because Treasure Island, a bit of swashbuckling, but, the main character's a kid. What if main character was swashbuckler pirate boy?
Yeah. Bit more action-y, adventure-y. What if the main character was a young piratey boy that went on adventures and took over the Caribbean, captained the Black Pearl.
You talking about, like, young Jack Sparrow? Is that what this is?
Oh, shit!
Young Jack Sparrow
I've done it again.
TV show. It's like, but it's like young Indiana Jones, that show, in that it's also just like an educational history program, but it's through the eyes of young Jack Sparrow.
But this is actually how piracy was, and it was not fun. People got lots of disease, and they were horrible, and they murdered people. They disfigured people. It was brutal.
Man, young Indiana Jones was a vibe. That show was fucking... It was...
Yeah, but young Indiana Jones, except it's pirates, and it's just like teaching kids about how fucking brutal pirates actually were and how not cool they were.
Yeah. Just everyone's getting scurvy and...
Yeah, and like dying of disease and like murdering innocent people,
And, like, the young Captain Jack, we see him throughout the years, and he's just getting, like, more... he's just becoming more and more of an alcoholic.
Absolutely.
As he grows up.
That's it. Sounds good.
That's why he's so wild, is because trauma. Trauma, his brain was just... He was too young to be on the boats. And so he's just traumatized. That's why he's so wild and wacky.
That's it. Well, I'm going to leave Mr. Dan Seavey.
Yep.
And I'll leave you guys to it.
Oh my god, those little crabs are going back inside him.
Yar! Wouldn't be the first time. Well, that was very interesting.
I bet.
Clearly, I've been hitting my own supply, if you know what I'm saying. Drinking a bit too much of the grog thing. That's gonna be my social cope as to what just fucking happened there.
Right, cool.
I'm going to go steal more shit now.
Okay, I need to get off the boat. So
Yeah, I'm about to push you off the boat. I'm gonna make you walk the plank.
You're gonna make me walk the... But pirates didn't do that. What is this?
No, but it's a stereotype, and I'm gonna play to it. I'm gonna make you do that into that strange bit of glowing water there.
That strange bit of glowing... Wait
that
a
looks like a
second.
magical portal of some sort.
Oh my god, the portal's in the ocean. Did I do that? I don't know. Maybe there's another time traveler looking out for me. Oh, that's interesting.
I think it's just plot convenience, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
Hey, orphan, you get in there as well.
Wow!
Oh my god, you threw the orphan. You picked up the orphan and threw him into the portal. Oh my goodness.
See you later, cabin boy. All right, you two, whatever the fuck your name was, get in that weird bit of water.
I'm walking the plank. I'm falling in. Where am I going to end up next week?
And take your plates with you.
Oh my god. Oh, the plates just broke. The plates just broke.
Yeah, sorry, I missed the side of the boat. That's my... I hit the side of the boat there. That's my bad.